Sup nerds? So I had noticed some time back that though we already have made a every power armor video and every under armor video, we never did a every non-power armor video. But I keep skipping over it because, I think most of us are already wearing Secret Service armor and then we just wear any apparel we want on top of it. But I guess this could be interesting for new players to see what different kinds of armors we have out there, and at least for everyone else to check the aesthetics of every armor out there. So let's take a look at every non-power armor in the game. Now before we start, it is important to note that up until combat armor, all of these armors and their plans, if they do have plans, are mostly found randomly throughout the world, all throughout the game. So I won't tell you specifically where to get them, but it is mostly pretty easy to get. Now starting off with leather armor, which is most likely what you will be wearing first as you learn them fairly early on, but there are 3 different variants: light, sturdy, and heavy. I do think leather armors do go really well with most under armors, and in terms of looks, it is still one of my favorite ones when roleplaying. That said, there is no specific headwear for this armor. Then we have the wood armor, which you can find around earlier than even the leather armor, but you can't craft these. So it is mostly RNG whether you can find the whole set, and if you aren't keeping an eye for them, then maybe you won't ever keep them, cause you know, I keep scrapping or selling these to NPCs. But yeah, this is what the whole set looks like. Also, this mask is an unused content, so you can't get this anywhere unless from other players who have gotten it through nefarious means. Then we have the Raider armor, which also has 3 weight variants, but no headwear specific to this. So, light, sturdy, and heavy. I always thought these Raider armors looked more like junkyard worker armors instead of Raider, but you know, it is what it is. Then we have the metal armor, which also has 3 weight variants: light, sturdy, and heavy. And this one actually has a headwear specific to it, and you can get it here. Just go up this thing and you should find it here, and it is usually always here unless someone else got to it first. Then we have the robot armor, which also has 3 weight variants, but it also has 3 variant helmets. So there is the light robot, which I did pair with the iBot helmet, which you can learn to craft by scrapping military grade circuit boards. The sturdy robot, which I also paired with the Assaultron helmet, and you can learn how to craft this helmet by scrapping scrap Assaultron heads. and the Heavy Robot, which I paired with the Sentry Bot helmet, which you can learn to craft by scrapping military grade circuit boards as well. Then we have Combat Armor, which, like the other ones, also has 3 weight variants: light, sturdy, and heavy. But this one does have a designated headwear called the Combat Helmet, and you can't craft the helmet. That said, you can get it in several different places, but I usually get it from these Brotherhood dudes. Very kind guys, they always tend to let me borrow it out of the goodness of their hearts, every time. Then we have the Trapper Armor, which does not have any weight variants, just sturdy here. But I do like the look of this one quite a bit, especially because of the backpack thing going on here, which I do mention in a different video about armors that have backpacks of their own. But yeah, you can find the plans for this in random plan spawns, containers, and treasure maps, and there is supposedly a helmet for this, but just like the wood armor one, it is an unused content, so it is unobtainable by any normal/legal means. Then we have the Marine Armor, which is also just sturdy. The plans for this can be found mostly on Harper's Ferry. As for the helmet, this one is the Marine Armor helmet, not to be confused with the Marine Tactical helmet. The armor helmet is the one that goes with this armor. The only way to get the plan for the armor helmet is from the Mo Miner Payos during the Treasure Hunter seasonal event. But if you can find someone who already learned the plan, then of course they can craft it and drop it for you. Now moving on to the more endgame-ish armors, we have the Covert Scout armor, and there's no weight variant here either, but there are different camo variants maybe. But this standard Covert Scout armor, you can get the plans for it from daily ops after level 50 or sometimes sold by Minerva, and this does have a mask of its own, which is obtainable the same way as the rest of the armor. That said, the Forest Scout armor here is not just a paint of the Covert Scout. It is an actual separate armor of its own, and it has its own mask as well. These, however, can't be crafted, and you must find them either through random drops or sometimes sold by the vendor in the Enclave bunker. The mask here though is quite rare and drops only as part of the Savage Divide Jackpot bundle, which have a very low chance of dropping from daily quests and events in the Savage Divide. The Urban Scout also is a armor of its own, separate from the Covert Scout and the Forest Scout. And you get this the same way that you would the Forest Scout, with the Urban Scout mask dropping the same way that the Forest Scout mask drops. And they do drop together, so if you get one, you will get the other. Then we have the Botsmith armor, which is the earliest endgame armor that we can get, since we just have to participate in the public event Test Your Metal. Of course, it is just a chance to drop, but by my experience, it is very easy to get them. Every single character of mine has had this armor. And though this looks like a unique version of the robot armor, this doesn't have any weight variants. This also doesn't have a helmet specifically as a Botsmith helmet. That said, you can paint the previous 3 robot helmets that I showed you to have a rusted color to match the Botsmith. And you can see it here that it says no paint twice. And one is the Botsmith, as you can see by the rusted color. And I'm not 100% sure how to get this, but either you already have it by default when you learn to craft the helmet, or when you learn to craft the Botsmith stuff. Either way, I had it on every single one of my characters. Then we have the Arctic Marine armor, and this is also not just a paint of the Marine armor, but an armor of its own, and he has his own helmet too. But the plan for all of these, including the helmet, only drop from daily ops after level 50 or are sold by Minerva from time to time. Then we have the Solar and Thorn armor. They both look the same, so I will just show one here, but you get these plans from Rags or sometimes by Minerva. The mask is just one for both of these as well, and it is called the Vault 94 Scout Armor Mask, and the plan for it is sold by Rags. Then we have the Brotherhood Recon armor, which is finally the first of the 3 endgame armors that can have jetpacks of their own. And this one is gotten from daily ops after level 50 and sometimes sold by Minerva as well. And this is arguably the coolest looking armor of the 3 jetpack armors, and it of course has a helmet of its own, which is acquired the same way as the rest of the armor. The jetpack plan, however, is bought from regs. Then we have the Secret Service armor, which can also have a jetpack, and this one you get from regs and sometimes from Minerva. And though this is not the prettiest looking armor, it is definitely the best one stat-wise, which is why most people will use this unless you have a stealth build. Otherwise, no reason not to wear this, especially because acquiring it is not dependent on any kind of RNG. Then lastly, we got the Civil Engineer armor, which is, so far, the last armor that they have added into the game, and that has been a while already as well. And this one you get by completing a bunch of quests related to the Atlantic City. The plan for the helmet you get by completing the quest Opportunity Knocking. The plan for the arms you get by completing all the worlds a stage. The legs from Honor Bound, and the torso from Sins of the Father. This can also have a jetpack like I mentioned before, but the plan for the jetpack is acquired from Giuseppe for stamps. The cool thing about this armor is of course that you can drop it, whereas the previous 2 you can't. So it is the quickest jetpack armor that you can get as long as you know someone who can craft this for you. But yeah, that is every non-power armor that we can get in Fallout 76 right now. Which one is your favorite aesthetically? Let me know in the comments down below. Consider helping the channel by becoming a member by clicking join down below. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and of course, always nerd on.